Hi everyone, welcome to week 1 of Principles of Microeconomics. In this week, we're going to be focusing on some various topics that are the principles of economics to build a foundation for microeconomics. You're going to be reading chapters 1, 2, and 3, which is going to be dealing with both economics, markets, and supply and demand. The assignments for this week is to post your introduction by day 1 and have 3 peer responses by day 7. You're going to have a discussion board, which is going to be covering the circular flow diagram, and another discussion board that's going to be covering the supply and demand. Also, you're going to have a week 1 quiz that's due on day 6. Now, for this week, week 1 is going to focus on the foundations of economics. Terms like opportunity costs, supply and demand, scarcity, all of those things we're going to focus on this week. In this week, we're going to learn that economics is a study of resource allocation in a given society to satisfy the wants and needs of people. We're also going to discover how unlimited wants with limited resources force us to make decisions. The factors of production include land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial ability. Key questions in economics are what to produce, who do we produce it for, and how and where do we produce the goods and services. So those are some of the key questions that you're going to be looking at in Chapter 2. Now, in the first week, we're going to discuss the supply and demand model, probably the most important model in economics, because it's going to be the basis of many discussions that we have and how prices are determined. Prices are how we ration scarce goods and services. And economists use theories and models to make these decisions. You'll notice that one of these characteristics is prices are always changing in our economy. And when prices are always changing, you're going to notice that we have to make decisions on the role of prices. So that's a little bit of an overview of this week. And in this week, I provided a couple Khan Academy videos that'll help you understand and maybe illustrate the law of demand and supply. Now, as we discussed before, you're going to have to post your introduction and have 3 peer responses by day 7. Make sure that your introduction is posted by day 1 of the course. Now, discussion number 1, that's going to be covering the circular flow diagram. Now, what you're going to do is explain how the circular flow diagram relates to the economic situation. Using the circular flow diagram, explain a way that your family interacts in the factor market and a way that interacts in the products market. Now, when you look at this, you're going to notice there's 2 markets. Both households and firms are going to interact. And they're going to interact in 2 different markets. Factor markets, product markets. Your job is to know which market you're interacting in and describe that interaction. And also describe what's going to happen with that interaction. Your first post is due by Thursday. Make sure that your initial post has both an in-text citation and a reference. That's a very important component for your discussion board work. Now, with your 2 peer responses, you're going to respond to at least 2 of your classmates and comment on their descriptions of the circular flow diagram and factors of production. You might want to discuss how circular flow relates to the current economic situations. And what I recommend doing is making sure that you have at least a paragraph response. I think that will be very important to really develop your work. Now, discussion board number 2. Discussion board number 2 is going to be looking at supply and demand. Supply and demand is going to analyze, or in this question, you're going to analyze how the law of demand applies to a recent purchase that you've made. Now, the law of demand is looking at the indirect relationship between price and quantity demanded. What you're going to do is describe how the product has changed in price and explain whether the price change is due to supply or demand. So you could pick a thing like a product like gasoline, movie tickets, cars, housing. You want to describe what changed the price of the product. Was it demand or supply? And clearly list the determinant of demand or supply that brought about that change. Now, did the change in price affect your decision to purchase the item? So you want to look at the change in price. Did it affect whether you would purchase it or not? Describe that. And again, make sure to focus on an in-text citation and a reference that's in APA formatting, which will be very important for your work. Now, with your 2 peer responses, you want to review the discussion board post to your classmates, note their analysis of a recent purchase, and respond to at least 2 of your classmates. In your responses, discuss the effects of a price change and how it might alter your decision to make a purchase according to the determinants of supply or demand. Really focus on that 1-paragraph response in your analysis. And the last thing you have to complete by day 6 is quiz number 1. This quiz is going to consist of 10 multiple choice questions. Please note that you only get one attempt at the quiz to do well. Also, some review of the course requirements. No late works accepted in the course, so make sure to always focus on the course calendar and what's expected of you to do well. I look forward to your work. If you have any questions, you want help with your initial post, quiz concepts, course concepts, just send me an email. I'll be more than willing to help you. I wish you all the best in week 1.